Hi everybody, I am Tina. This is To the Inner Wild. Thanks for stopping by. Today we are, well, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, first off, and it is February 4th, 2022. This is a timeless reading, an energy reading. Yeah, I guess we needed to clear the air. Let's do it again and again, and we are here. 25 seconds on the clock. Okay. Yeah, so I just woke up and did my usual routine, with kids involved, including myself, because I still probably have morning eye, and that is okay, because, we are, regular people who go through regular things. And not everything has to have a bow on it. Not every gift has to have a bow on it. Okay, so I guess we're doing some inner child stuff too. But I guess that's the vibe here, right? You'll come to learn. And so today, for Imbolc, the celebration of it, it was a little different. Sometimes things aren't really planned accordingly, according to your own makeup of it, like your own drawings of it. And when we celebrate with its true meaning, we don't always have like that little pretty finish, that ideal state of how it really plays out, but that doesn't make it any less meaningful. So that's how that celebration was for me. The ritual was not done with like a pretty little fairy garden, picturesque, but I get the feeling that if you're here, you also are on my Instagram, and you'll come to find out a lot more about me through that realm. They're just like little short snippets of my life. And so what was I going to say about that? Yeah, spring, the preparation of it, placing the intention, especially with it layered with the new moon. The new moon in, was it Aquarius? Gosh, I am a little all over the place. It's new moon in Aquarius. Yeah, I should know. It's my south node. All things come natural when it comes to your south node, 3:33 on the clock. And I have to trust that even though things weren't as pretty and picturesque like many were able to celebrate with certain rituals, mine was very impromptu. It was about observing burial rites and honoring a closed door before we open a new one, and the process behind that. The mourning behind it, paying respects to the cycle of life, not just observing it, but understanding it, like digesting it for reals before we move into the next phase of life. And that's how our loved ones would have it, right? If they could give us any gift, it would be a moment of peace, a moment of closure, so that we could really capture what shared joy is, even when we're in a state of, solitary confinement, or in our most sacred moments, which is our alone time. That's what our loved ones would want, to observe the peace and joy that's been shared in its highest degree in our moments of being alone. Okay, so what I did was, we did that, and it still carries the energies days prior and days after, just like how we observe the phases of the moon, the energy behind it. And so I worked on my tools, cleansing, feng shui, and I drew up some protection candles, and I was called several times to do it. It wasn't like, skirt, you know, and I'm looking at them right now, so, you know, things might look a little disheveled, and we're not supposed to agonize over those details, yeah? There's more substance in other realms of our life, right? We only have so much energy, so we must be very discerning of where we put our attention, not just who we put our attention to. And I can go on, but let's stay focused here, okay? Did some protection candles, and my intuition was very, like, I know I'm guided, at least from my ancestors. And that's when I use that phrasing, it's not to take away from their credibility. It's just saying that it's one source, but it's a major source for us. And I suggest that you tap into that, because I was very aloof to that idea at first, that concept. It's not just an idea, but that access point, that portal to really getting to know ourselves, because our ancestors have had our backing since day one here, even within our gestation period. Yeah. So anyway, did those candles. When you just get several messages, like a constant beat throughout your day, you know, should follow through. So use your best judgment, but I'm just telling you what I was called to do and how fluid like it was, because the initial steps to that, my gut feeling was that 8 minutes on the clock was that, oh gosh, it's going to be so time consuming, because I had all these candles laid out to prep and dress and, you know, do all these things. And part of that is to prepare for something that's coming up, so that you're not caught off guard, you know, last minute when you need those tools. So this is calling from the other side to help keep things in order, because they're prepping you for something that's going to take more focus. How do I say it, angels? Yes, I invite you in, of course. Those of light and love, yes. Our guardians of light and love. So I'm going to go ahead, and I was going to burn another candle. Oh my goodness, it usually overflows, right? But since I put it in a different container, and I had another ritual that was just kind of on the spot, I had to move along with it. And what happened was, usually there would be a lot of remnants, but here it was absolutely consumed, and all of it is gone. It would have had this, you know, at least a half a centimeter worth of wax remnant here, residue, and it's all gone. I was going to read it through that way, but here it looks like it's like a tea leaf reading, but it's a candle wax residue reading. So I'm just going to read the energies here, see what it tells me, what messages are here for me to observe. And because you're here, it tells me that there's a shared energy, and not everything is exact, but I'm going to tell you what I see here, and you parallel it to your own life on what you're supposed to pick up, because this is not a message from me to you. I am merely a channel from the divine, of the divine, to the divine within you. So that's our higher selves talking, our guides, our ancestors, okay? Goodness, I know I'm like Mr. T right now with all these necklaces, but it's okay. Okay, here we go. What do we see in here? I'm seeing like a robotic mechanical arm, like the claw machine, except coming from an angle on the right bottom angle to this it's like an abyss, or like a void, but many things like in the midst of creation. It's right here. Do you see that? And it's reaching out to here. Okay, so let's think about like the eye of the storm where it's most calm. And it kind of looks like that here, but in reverse. You see, black is mainly the void, but a lot of things are happening in the middle. And that's supposed to be the safest point within like a tornado. But here, even though it is the safest place, it's telling me that there's a lot of things happening within this void. It's things are alchemizing. Even though it's an opposite of a tornado, it's just conveying movement, not quite the turbulence or the chaos. There's a lot of things. There's something big in creating, you know, something brewing. And it has to do with our inner magic. Yes. So do you see all the debris around here? And it looks almost harmless, but do you see like everything looks like an amoeba, like a cell, that it's creation around you. So this is our manifestations. Something big is happening. There's a big shift that's going on within us, and because of that, we're so focused on that inner alchemy, which is a very good thing, that things are shifting around us. It's creating new life. And there's a lot of protection because there's a lot of salt sprinkled around. The hand can be coming not just from the bottom right side, but that's where it initially started when we did the reading. So it shifts around. It's not attached to anything. So when we're approaching this inner state of alchemy, okay, I'm getting several messages. To not be attached to what we're creating. So not to be fixed on a particular outcome, but focus on its building, the process of building. That it not only takes discipline, but behind that discipline is fortified with trust. When we're reaching out and, you know, alchemizing, right? Working with that energy, we're focused on like our hand in it. We're not really like our bodily form, our home, our temple is attached to this, like it's not fixated. We're in the moment, so we're just focusing on our hand in it, okay?
The bare essentials. Now, around 90% of the time I read, I'm immersed to the point I can't hear certain sounds around me. The reason why there are sirens is meant to emphasize the need to focus on the bare essentials, because some of us may be going through a tower moment and need to concentrate on creation, not the destruction. Life is carried out in phases and is meant to be honored accordingly.
So a lot of artists understand this. Doesn't matter what type of artist you are, but that's what it's conveying. And so the other message is there are other hands that come out like, you know, like the claw, wanting to reach for a prize. So there's outsiders that are unidentifiable and, you know, that don't really warrant your energy in identifying, because it could be this identity or that. It's simply an energy that comes in that is attracted to 1640 on the clock. It showed that it was low battery, but people with energies that are low on a field are attracted to this, and they kind of want to take. They want to see if they're going to get a prize. But more often than not, they come up unsuccessful, and those that come up successful in taking in the physical realm are still unidentifiable. You see, they're clones, they're frauds, they're fakes, and eventually, like the smartest people, the people that are really genuine and in tune with the flow of life, can already see that. And the person that's taking knows the dynamic of taking, so they already know up front that they're ingenuine, and that alone is an identifier to knowing how unsatisfied they are and unfulfilled. So no matter what they actually grab hold of, they will remain unfulfilled. That is what's dictated within their alone time, a lack of identity. So they come in with dark hands, you know, like within the darkness. That's just a fact of life. And it almost looks like a wishbone the way it's, you know, if you look closer. I'll have to take pictures of it. But it's almost like a wishbone. So they wish. They work on these constructs that they'll somehow benefit from. It looks like a dowsing rod too, from taking. But inversely speaking, the divine is telling you not to deplete your energy within that focus, but understand that it is a reality for anyone. When you can focus on your inner being and that alchemizing, it does act as a dowsing rod and an inverse wishbone to creation, adding to the divine within all. It's just an emanation of what's going on internally. 1910 on the clock. Okay, what else? There's some loose, debris in here. And that is good. Some of that is coming from this deteriorated bone that I found on the beach a while ago. And that tells me that there's pieces of our ancestor in this realm, our ancestors within our realm. And they may be unidentifiable because it stretches far back, but it is also a reality, a protective force, a life force that helps us manifest. So through their death, they are still giving life to other life forms. I see one of these herbs did not extinguish. It simply fell from its form and just melted out to the edge. It reminds me of like a needle in the haystack, but also the Ace of Swords. It's just right in this corner. I don't know if you could see that. The Ace of Swords. And how it's kind of pushed out unharmed, standing as is with its sharp end still intact. So the truth is out there. It surrounds us. And it remains unflawed, untainted. It is not only integral and integrated within our environment, but also, what is that other word for it? In one of integrity. Ace of Swords is the smartest card in the deck.
It also has the heaviest hand of truth to smite us with. It's the Ace of Spades, which makes us think twice about our next actions. Are they mindless moves or strategic steps? Then, are we advancing or just progressing? Because moving forwards without moving up is eventually only a parallel move.
We see a portal. With things that are shifting around, because I blew on it a little bit, and there's like this little portal. Do you see it right here? But that top part, that's movable. And the void points towards that. It points towards it. But that is a loose debris. So when we work with the things that are flexible, we're able to create avenues and opportunities for ourselves. The universe helps us with that. They're like setting us up, like, the goalposts, and then you just do your part. 22:57 on the clock. Oh, do you see that? It's almost like a hand too, like a separate claw, reaching out. And it's almost like a forklift on a frog's head. Does that make sense? Does that look right? Okay. So you're like hopping at every opportunity, and it becomes natural to you. Like it's like a leap, an innate leap of faith. Oh, I just blew that. Anything that you approach with this attitude and this demeanor is it strengthens you, your ability to take hold and lift and transport these opportunities to your taking, to you're able to manage these things. Like forklifts carry tons of weight. So that says a lot in volume of what your capabilities are given this. And there's a lot more in here, but I want to go ahead and cut this short. I see a dance of two beings, masculine and feminine. But this might exhibit duality. Some of you are Gemini and have that strongly positioned in your natal charts, but this is duality at the center point of alchemy. It's a dance. It's not just a romantic dance, an intimate dance with its center point at the womb of both, that sacral chakra. You can see that here. Do you see that? And this has a very tribal look to it. Do we see anything else? There's so much in here. But there's seeds that are getting pushed out within the same realm. I'm considering Imbolc just passed, and it's the marker to prep for spring's fruition. We're seeing the seeds planted out into the universe, out into the horizon. And it's not just one side, it's all the sides. Evenly dispersed. You know, as the universe sees fit to place them. You just do your part with the intentions and the motions towards it. They find the perfect place on where those seeds will flourish best. That's so interesting. So spring will be the marker for the Ostara. Let's see here. This is a 12 petal, almost like a lotus flower. So that might mean something to you or something to research as far as plant magic or, you know, flower essences. I also see like a setup of home right here. A setup of home, either a mountain range or that's considering like the roof. And here, it's almost like a nativity scene. An element of staying grounded because our ancestors are with us. They did the same, and now they're showing us how to do it. Do you see that? Oh my gosh, it just turned into like a home too. Where this ashes part, yeah, this ashes part is a woman, also similarly doing the same down here as we are. Dang, that's so crazy cool. Okay, I see a backwards J. Initially, when I first looked at this, it looked like the symbol somewhere hidden in it, but I couldn't remember exactly how it is written, so I didn't want to interrupt the reading to get that, but that was like my first like center point, like there's something, that message is hidden in there. Peace within this alchemizing, that is key. So that with peace, I recently learned that forgiveness is also something that you owe to yourself, your higher self, your inner children. Even though others, there are quite a few that do not deserve your forgiveness, that at least you do. So when we think of what our actions, we're thinking of them in bilateral terms, not just placed within the multiverse. Think about all the possibilities of benefits that creates and opportunities that at the very least and at the very essential part, at least it gives you peace. So this is not being selfish. This is really looking at the whole picture, that it starts from within. So if you bring yourself peace within that gesture, that loving act of kindness, that even though that recipient may not value it directly, that energy is not wasted because the universe identifies with it. The universe understands it. And you allow that person to digest it. You give them the opportunity, even if it's considered a byproduct to your intentions rather than a direct motion of intent. Okay, I think that's it for now. Okay, 30:24 on the clock. I hope that helps you out. please consider liking, subscribing, donating to my channel. Commenting, of course. I'd love to hear what your feelers have to say. And, oh yeah, the notifications bell, all that jazz. And let's go ahead and thank our higher selves, our inner children, spirit, ascended masters, our ancestors. What else? Just the divine and all, yeah? Thanks very much for joining me. Yeah, I'll see you again later, okay? Bye for now.